Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Octavia Devi. I'm from English Education, 6th semester. And today I will present my proposal entitled Student Difficulties in Speaking Skill at the 11th grade of SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo in the academic year of 2020-2021. There are 3 chapters. The chapter 1 is about background of study. Why speaking skill? Nunan said that speaking is very important in our life because without speaking we cannot know what the other talk, and speaking is the way used to interaction with the other people. It is assumed that speaking skill is one of aspects which is important to mastery in English. The success can be measured through student can skill in carrying out of the conversation and interacting early in that language. And then problem statement. What the problem are the student difficulties in speaking English at the 11th grade of SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo in the academic year of 2020 or 2021. And then the object of the study is to describe the student difficulties in speaking English at the 11th grade of SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo in the academic year of 2020 or 2021. And then significance of the study. For the teacher, this research can be useful for English teacher to increase their understanding about student difficulties in speaking skill. The strategies that is used to overcome the difficulties in speaking English. And then for the student to increase and get some knowledge about the difficulties in English speaking skill. And then chapter 2 is literature review. The definition of speaking. Speaking is one of the 4 skills in English. It is used by everyone to communicate something in daily life. The people could express idea, feeling, and truth orally. Brown said that speaking is literally to say things, express truth aloud, and use the voice. And then component of speaking. Brown said there are some components should be recognized by learner in speaking. First is pronunciation. Sternberg stated that pronunciation refers to the student's ability to produce comprehensible utterances to fulfill the task requirements. And then grammar. Harmer said the grammar of a language is the description of the ways in which words can change their form and combine into sentence in the language. It helps the learner to combine the words to produce that sentence is correctly. And then vocabulary. Vocabulary is one of the important elements in speaking. Without vocabulary, learner cannot say something. The learner can make a sentence or communicate effectively what they want to say. Knowing a lot of words in foreign English is very important. And then fluency. Fluency is used to measure capable or incapable someone in using the language. Fluency is the extent to which speakers use the language quickly and confidently with few hesitation or natural pauses, false start, word search, and etc. And then comprehension. In learning English, comprehension is an ability to perceive and process stretches of discourse, to formulate representation, the meaning sentences. And then there are problems faced by the student in learning speaking. You are explained that there are some problems faced by the learners in speaking activities. There are problems can be explained as follows. The first is inhibition. Unlike reading, writing, and listening activities, speaking requires some real-time exposure to an audience. Learner is often inhibited about trying to say things in foreign language in the classroom, such as worried about making mistakes, fearful or criticism, or shy of their speech attracts. And then the second is nothing to say. The learners have no idea to speak. Some learners get the difficulties in thinking of anything to say. They have no motivation to express themselves beyond the feeling that they should speaking. And then the third is uneven participant. Only one participant can talk at a time if he or she is to be heard. In a large group, this means that each one will have only very little time to talk, and this problem is compounded by the tendency of some learners to dominate, while others speak very little or not at all. And then the fourth is mother tongue use. In a number of classes, the learners share the same mother tongue use. They may tend to use it because of some reason. Firstly, it is easier. Secondly, it feels unnatural to speak to another one. If they are talking in small groups, it can be quite difficult to keep use target language. Based on the problem above, it can be concluded that there are four problems in learning speaking, namely inhibition, low participation, use of mother tongue use, and then the teacher should find suitable technique in teaching and give motivation to students for feel more confidence to share ideas in front of class. And then there are preview study. The first is descriptive study on teaching speaking method to the 7-year student of SMP Negeri 3 Batu in the academic year of 2013 or 2014. This research is conducted by Devi, who is college in University of Muhammadiyah Surakarta in academic year of 2013 or 2014. The second is a study of student problem in daily English speaking activity as SMA Pemusda Tanjung Anom Nganjuk. This research is conducted by Yun Arita, who is college in University Muhammadiyah Malang in academic year of 2008 and or 2009. And then the third is investigating the problems of English speaking of the student of Islamic boarding school program at Spain, Samarinda. The international journal is conducted by lecturer Siti Hadijah in Spain, Samarinda. And then the last is about student speaking problems and factor causing it. The international journalist is conducted by Farah Sukmawati. And then in chapter 3 is research method. This research is a descriptive qualitative research. This research is qualitative science. The data are in the form of words. This is because the researcher is intended to describe about the student problem, its difficulties in speaking skill in speaking English at 11th grade of SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo. And then there are subjects of the study. The researcher observed not at all of the classes, but one only class. It is only IPA 3 class, and the researchers chooses class of 11 IPA 3 as the subject of research. And then there are data and source of data. First is events. The events are in the form of teaching learning activity in English subject, especially teaching learning speaking at 11th grade student of SMA Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. And the researcher focuses only one class, this 11 class, and the researchers observe the student difficulties of speaking in class. And then informant. In this research, the informant refers to the student of the 11th grade of SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo, and the English teacher is Mrs. Indrawati SPD, who conducts his English teacher for the 11th grade student, especially in class 11, IPA 3 class. And then about techniques of collecting data. First is observation. Record. The research prepare the recorder before the class is started. Take notes. The note has been taken by researcher herself during the observation. The researcher prepares checklist note before going to observe. And then finally, to ensure the obtained data, the researcher compares both the field note and the recording. The recording is transcribed and will be the additional proof to complete the taken note. And then interview. The researcher interviewed the teacher and some students at the 11th grade at SMA Muhammadiyah 2 Sidoarjo. Then technique analyzing data. First is reduction the data. Reduction the data refers to the process of selecting, focusing, simplifying, abstracting, and transforming the data that appear in the written up field notes and transcription. And then data display. The researcher presents the data from the student difficulties in speaking skill, and the factor costs and the strategies that the student used to overcome the student difficulties in speaking. And then the third is drawing conclusion. The researcher gives the result of their analysis based on the problem statement where it concluded the valid data from the entire data, and the researcher takes conclusion after presenting the data and analyzes the data. And then technique validating data. In validating the data, the researchers observe the process of the teaching and learning process while also observing the problem appear. The researcher does the cross-checking by comparing them to the data of interviews. Okay, I think enough about my presentation. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.